hard-hitting sports in your face. What up, folks? So I was going to make this video on yesterday, and as you can see on the channel, didn't get to make it. I was a bit tired of shit. I'm still tired of shit. It's been a very long week. Um, Hold on one second. Sorry about that. So we were I was actually tweeting this out to my Twitter page right now before we get this thing started. All right, so people starting to come on into the room. All right, so let's start talking, man. First of all, as you can see from the title of the video, we're going to talk about the 2017 NFL draft. I will give my grade. If you guys are in some of the Facebook groups that I'm in, you already saw my grade for it, but we shall break it down pick by pick. For those of you guys who are living under a rock, I don't know what Miami Dolphin fans. Some people just don't like the draft. Like I know football fans that don't like the NFL draft. Yeah. They are not fans of the actual draft, so they don't watch the draft themselves. They wait out to see what is actually going on later on various news things of things that are going on as far as the news. So let's start off with our first round pick. Our first pick at number 22, we took Charles Harris, and they actually have him listed as an outside linebacker. In college, he played he played on the end in college. Here they have him listed as a 3-4 linebacker, but I'm thinking that he's going to end up playing. He will end up playing defensive end for us. And if you are on my Facebook page, he is one of the guys. And I don't know if I can find the actual Facebook post. Wish I can find it. I thought I should have had this up already. And here's my Facebook post from April the 19th. And as you can see, these were my top 5: Foster, Riddick, Davis, Charles Harris, Taco Charlton, and Jordan Willis. Now, going into this actual draft, there was a couple needs I wanted addressed. And definitely the one that I wanted addressed for us was the defensive end and pass rush. Just simple pass rush. We're in a division where we play Tom Brady twice a year. You think about some of the teams that beat the Patriots or give them hell every time they play them. It's because of that pass rush. You think about those wars that the New England Patriots had with teams like the Giants or the Ravens and the really tough games that they play. It happens because they're able to get after them. And last year, if you look at our stats from last year, you'll see that we didn't have a lot of pass rush, and that was a part of the problem. I mean, the defense in general was a huge problem on last year. So addresses a huge need. Now I know there were people, including myself, at first, that was not very happy about us passing over Reuben Foster. Now, since that happened, a lot of little research as far as why we did not draft Reuben Foster. But the big one was, of course, he did the he had the diluted sample at the draft. He was kicked out of the draft because of some sort of issue, and he has an injury that people are suggesting may require him to have further surgeries and may be something that he has to deal with throughout his career. So that is the reason why not only we passed over Reuben Foster, but damn near all of the first round passed over Reuben Foster. So I'm very happy with the Charles Harris pick because I felt like pass rush was a bigger need than linebacker. Even though I had Reuben Foster ranked higher than I had Charles Harris, I absolutely felt like pass rush was something that we needed more than linebacker. Without pass rush to me is going to allow our young secondary to grow. The more pass rush that we have, it allows those young corners to not have to deal with these receivers down the field for as long as they do. You know what I mean? When we only have one pass rusher, which is Cameron Wake, and the rest of our team is just really meh as pass rush, it hampers the development of the young corners, whether it's Lippett or whether it's Howard or whether it's the guy I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, Tankersley, or whether it's McCain, because they have to deal with those receivers forever. So definitely happy with the first pick that we had in the draft. The next pick was Raekwon McMillan, and when he first came off the board, I was like, yeah, how can we pass on Cunningham? Because I told everybody that would listen that we were going to get Cunningham. But the more I look at this Raekwon McMillan, who played at Ohio State, so he played in a big time football conference in slave ball. A hard nosed tackler, great tackler. He's not the best in pass coverage from everything that I've seen. Um, People were saying that there was questions about his athleticism, which I did not hear about Cunningham. There was never a question about his athleticism, never a question about him in pass coverage from what I saw. But from Cunningham, I saw people saying that he was too small. He was too small of a linebacker, which made no sense because he was only 2 pounds heavier than Luke Keek. I mean, 2 pounds lighter than Luke Kuechly for the Carolina Panthers, and I think I put that up on my page. So, but I mean, this is a guy that would definitely come in, help us in run coverage, help us in run stop. Sorry. So for the people who are upset about the fact that, hey, you went Charles Harris and he's not necessarily a run stopper, but he's a pass rusher. He's a guy who's going to get to he's a guy that's going to give us some much needed burst around the ends and get to the quarterbacks, man. This year alone, we have Breeze, Brady twice. We have fucking Matt Ryan, Cam Newton. We got a murderer's row of quarterbacks on this schedule. Jameis Winston. I, we better be ready. We better be ready to go hit people this year. And I had the fucking stat up 2016. Hold on one second. Uh, uh, and I absolutely wanted to have this up so that we can go over this. and show one of my concerns as far as our sacks. But that'll be a later video. I should have had that up on my screen already, but now I cannot find it. Where we talk about our sacks or the lack thereof, um, sacks on our team. But anyway, let's continue with review of this draft. Round three, pick 33. We drafted Cordrea Tankersley, a 6'1", 199-pound cornerback from Clemson. So he's a bit of a big cornerback. The first thing I did when I saw him is I went and I looked him up because he's not one of those guys that I actually scouted or looked at. Coming into this draft, I didn't think we needed secondary help. I wanted to see what would happen with a full season of Maxwell, because if you remember last year, Howard was out. Then when Howard came back, Maxwell went out. And of course, Lippett is a converted wide receiver, so he's still learning the position, even though he has absolutely amazing ball skills. You saw that in a couple games, and then of course we had McCain. So it was, I wanted to see what they would look like a full season together, because they never really got an opportunity to play for an extended period of time together, because as soon as one of them came back, the other one was hurt, or you know what I mean, or this one is hurt without being, and that's the one thing that we're gonna have to see in this 2017 2018 season is freaking health. We need health. Geez, we need health. We need our guys to be able to stay healthy and be with us for this entire season, because this past season we didn't get that. We didn't get the health, so we didn't have Rashad Jones back there. You know what I mean? We didn't have Maxwell for some time. Maxwell didn't even play in the playoff game. We didn't have Howard to start the season, and that hampered his growth. Anyway, let's continue with the fifth round five, pick 20, 164 overall. We picked Isaac Asada. We actually traded up to go and get Isaac Asada. Asada is known as a mean run blocker who should compete for reps on our unit. And I think what's going to happen with Isaac Asada is he's going to be plugged in there day one and be a starter right out of the gate. I know there was a lot of people that were not happy about the fact that we didn't take a guard until round five. But I saw this coming. I absolutely saw it coming. I saw it coming and have been saying this shit the entire time, that we're not going to go offense early. I just felt that way. I felt like it wasn't necessary. And in the fifth round, we ended up getting Isaac Asada. Now, I was thinking that the Tankersley pick would have been like Ethan Pokic. I don't remember, or Eflin, or even we could have even got Dorian Johnson. There was a lot of people that were questioning, because if you saw my mock, I had Dorian Johnson coming to us in the third round. I was hoping that he was fall, but it turns out that Dorian Johnson has like elevated liver enzymes or something like that. His liver enzymes are like 3 times higher than the average person. And that's the reason why he didn't go in the third round. He ended up going later. Going forward, of course, we need a defensive tackle help. Mitchell no longer with us. He's a San Francisco 49er. So all we have now is Sue and Phillips. And there's one more guy, but I don't remember his name, which doesn't say a whole lot about him. So we went back to back defensive tackles. I'm getting Davin Gacha, hope that I'm saying his name correctly, out of LSU, and Vincent Taylor. I haven't done much research on either one of these guys. So I'm just trusting our staff that we got the right guys to fit our needs. Now, I'm hoping that these guys are just depth, and Jordan Phillips steps in and becomes a consistent force right next to Sue. Hoping. But if not, I hope one of these guys is able to fill the need and help with the run stop. I mean, just think about that shit, man. Sue is taking up 2 and 3 blockers. And we still have an issue stopping the run. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And now you have behind our defensive line now. You don't fucking have Neville Hewitt. You're not gonna have Neville Hewitt out there, and I forgot the other guy we ended up getting at linebacker. Neither one of those guys very good at stopping the run. Now you're gonna have Lawrence Timmons, and you're gonna have Raekwon McMillan. So I think our run stop defense definitely goes up a whole lot. And then in the 7th round, a very curious pick. We take Isaiah Ford, 6'1", 194-pound wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. And some of the stuff, and you know what? I'm not even gonna go into it because I went into it on a page. I went into it on a couple pages on yesterday, so I'm not gonna go into that. But his strengths are very curious. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm always looking for the conspiracies. You know that shit, man. It should be no surprise that I'm always looking for the experience. I mean the conspiracies. And Isaiah Ford, some of the things that he does well is he catches a lot of passes. For the last 2 years, he's racked up over 1,000 yards each season. Hear me. He's great on slants, and he's great at getting open. He sounds like a slot receiver. I'm just saying, he sounds like a slot receiver. And I'm not going to go any further with that. I'm going to let that alone. So, final draft grade. Final draft grade and my prediction for this season. And then I'll go to my comment section and see what you guys are talking about. Final draft grade. I came into this NFL draft thinking that we would go defensive end linebacker or linebacker defensive end. That's exactly what we did in the first 2 rounds. Exactly what I called in the first 2 rounds of the draft. Next, we went Tankersley with the secondary. Somewhere I thought we would end up getting a little bit of offensive line help. I feel like we got a starter in the 5th round, a guy who's going to come right in and jump right in there. And I didn't even see Damian Mama even going to anybody. I don't remember him going to anybody. I got to look and see where Damian Mama ended up. But all in all, I feel like in this draft, we got 4 starters. If they don't start right away, I feel like we have 4 guys who are going to make a huge impact on this team. Charles Harris is going to be a starter. I don't know if it's going to be right away this year, but he's going to be a starter. Raekwon McMillan will probably see the field right away. Cordell Tankersley is probably going to end up being our slot guy from everything that I'm hearing. And Isaac Esada, you plug him right in. He goes right to our needed guard. Now, I don't know which one of those guys are going to sit down. I don't know if it's going to be Bushrod or I don't know if it's going to be the guy who played for, I think he played for the Bears, Larson. So I'm not really sure which one of those guys are going to sit down. But Isaac Esada, 6'3", 323 pounds, a mauler, a guy that you want to run behind. Stick him right next to Laramie Tunsil. Yeah, I like that. He's going to be Mike Pouncey. All right, so my final draft grade for our draft, I'm giving it an absolute A+. Knocked it out the park. It was a fantastic draft, and it addressed every single need that we had except safety. Now, safety to me was a need because all we have is Nate Allen And then we got the guy TJ McDonald, but he doesn't come back to the eighth week of the season because of suspension. Now, maybe we're just thinking, all right, whatever. We'll plug Nate Allen in there, who's a starter. And then when McDonald comes back, those two will compete for the position. So hopefully that works out. But that is the only hole right now that I see on our team. Now, as far as this year's prediction, and you know what? I had people, and I was really fucking, I was questioning people. Like, how in the hell, please explain to me this. How in the hell do you make a prediction for our season without seeing our draft picks? How is that possible? I really don't understand that. How do you look at just our schedule without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, without 7 guys on the roster and say, I had people telling me, oh, you're going to win 7 games. I'm like, how do you know this without knowing exactly what we're going to go into it with as far as our draft? It doesn't make any sense. So my prediction for this season, I need to look at the schedule again. But my prediction for this season, I will be very disappointed if this isn't an 11-win season. And I'm not just being a homer. But I think right now what we have, we don't have a lot of holes. I think we fixed a lot of the things that were problems last year. Timmons and McMillan are huge upgrades from what we had last year at linebacker. Charles Harris gives us some pass rush that we did not have last year outside of Cameron Wake. I'm not big on Branch. I've told people that I'm not big on Branch. 11 wins. 11 wins, and not only do I feel like we're going to have 11 wins, I think we could easily have a top 10 offense. I've said this before in post. I feel like we will have a top 10 offense this year. I feel like there's a couple guys that are going to have breakout seasons. I think Ryan Tannehill this year has a breakout season. I think I said 40 touchdowns the last time. That's a little high. But I will say 30 to 35 touchdowns. I think Kenny Stills has an even bigger year this year. I think he goes for 12 to 14. I think Devontae Parker, a guy who I've been rough on. You guys know I've been fucking rough on Devontae Parker since we drafted him. I have been rough on Devontae Parker. Anybody that's followed my channel know how rough I've been on Devontae Parker. If you need a reminder, I'll give you a reminder how rough I've been on Devontae Parker. Hold on one second. Well, the people in the comment section, you guys know how rough I've been on Devontae Parker. But I think this is the year that Devontae Parker steps up and has a big year. I see him with double-digit touchdowns this year. No doubt. No doubt. I see 10 to 12 touchdowns from Devontae Parker this year. I think Thomas has a healthy season. I pray, my fingers crossed, my toes are crossed. If I know a girl with cross eyes, I hope her eyes are crossed. That Thomas is healthy. That's another thing I would have liked to see us grab in the draft was another tight end. Just for insurance, because there was a lot of good ones. A guy like a Jake Butt, if we had an extra pick, would have been good. But yeah. So yeah, man. 11 wins. Under 11 wins would be a disappointment for me this year. Honestly, it would. Anyway, folks, I will talk to you guys next time. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not go to the comment section and see what the hell is going on. Let me take a look at the comment section here. What the fuck, her? Charles Charles Harris is the Dolphins' future. Yes. McMillan will beat out Misi. Absolutely. Misi got hurt signing his contract. Who do you think is going to be the third linebacker for this season? I think it's going to be fuck. I'm horrible with names, man. I think it's gonna be Timmons, the guy who we had in the middle last year. I don't know why the fuck I'm forgetting his name, and McMillan. I think those are our three linebackers. Our schedule is to see if we're really a playoff team or not. It's all on Tanning's shoulders. Yes and no. I think Tannehill is going to have a big season, but I think the one thing, and it's the one thing that I said, even though I'm really hard on my quarterback, a lot of times you face tough defenses and you need your defense to hold pack. You know what I mean? You need your defense to stop the other offense to give you an opportunity to gain footing. If you go in versus a tough team and you look up at the scoreboard in the third quarter and you're down 24 to shit, then any game plan that you had has went out of the window. You can't run the ball down that many points. So you have to abandon the run. And now you're backing up to throw the fucking ball 20, 30 times with the opposing defense knowing that they have to catch up. So I felt like fixing this defense allows us to alleviate that problem. It allows us to not be behind. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to be behind like some games, but like straight, like not all of these games, not all of these tough games, the Steelers, the Patriots, the Ravens. You know what I mean, we got to be able to stand up to some of these teams. And if you think about it over the past few years, how many games has this defense lost us? I'm talking about flat out lost us down the stretch. Remember that Packer game where they let Aaron Rodgers go? And it's Aaron Rodgers, so that can't be too many. But they let Aaron Rodgers go right down the field and score, and we lost that game. Or that Denver game, remember that one? So, and that the offense was playing fantastic in that Denver game. The defense played like crap, straight up crap, and lost that game. All right. McMillan will be our starting Will. Timmons will be our Mike. Kiko Alonso. That I don't know how I messed up it, how I couldn't think of his name. What's with us drafting freaking receivers? Only thing I can think about is that he was the best player available, or it's an insurance policy. I like the Asada pick. Absolutely. We need to let go of Grant. No, absolutely not. I want to see Grant get used like a Tyreek Hill. He's just got to get bigger, stronger. Not as far as height wise, but as far as just being more stout, being able to hold on to the football. He's a burner. He's a burner. I want to see us use him in different ways. Get him out in the flat and screens. He's like 5'5". Put him in the flat with like three blockers that are 6'3", and people won't be able to find him. We should be using him in different ways and not just punt and kickoff returns. Use him. Like, get creative with him. He's a weapon. Sada will be our starting left guard. Yes. Larson will be Sada's backup. Yes. Really good at run blocking. Absolutely. Is Larson any good? I do not know. Don't know. Haven't researched him very much. What about Rashad Jones? Can't wait for Rashad Jones to get back. Um, Rashad Jones is a missile. I mean, great strong safety. He's not a free safety. Great strong safety. Attacks the line of scrimmage. Decent in coverage. Can't wait to have him back because even with Jones, Timmons, McMillan up front, with Jones, Timmons, McMillan, that improves our run stop defense tenfold. Just having those three in there. We're going 9-7 and missing the playoffs. I'm gonna save this message and we'll talk about it when we're 11-5. Okay. Asada's the new incognito. I hope you don't start making people cry, man. Don't say mean things, Asada. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, I'm just fine. Foxing around, but without the drama. 34-10 for Tanny. Yes, that's a winning season. Thanks for admitting it. I hope Landry has a great season. I hope he has a great season as well, man. I hope he has a great season. I hope like hell that we finally find ways to get Landry into the end zone. That's just one knock. If we can find ways to get Jarvis Landry into the end zone, doing everything else that he does well, then I say pay that man. Keep that man here. If Jarvis Landry has 100 catches, 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns, it's a wrap. He's in the top 5. He's in the top 5. But as it sits right now, he's out of the top 5 because he's missing those touchdowns. I can't put him in there with Antonio Brown having 3 touchdowns. Why? Because Antonio Brown gives you double-digit touchdowns every season. But anyway, 12-4. I hope so. 13-3, absolutely. Losses against the Chiefs, Falcons, and Raiders. No. What do you think the O-line will look like next season? I think it's going to be much improved. Kicking Tunsil out the tackle. Put Asada in there. A healthy Pouncey. Larson or Bushrod. And James. But those guys are, and then we also picked up another guy. I don't remember his name. And I don't even see documents on him. So let's see what type of contribution he's going to be able to give us. I felt helpless in that Denver game. Absolutely. Because the offense played great. Our offense played great in that Denver game. Our defense played like shit. Do you think we can sweep the Patriots? I don't know. Because we always seem to catch hell in Foxborough. But I do think we beat them here. We beat them in Hard Rock this year. Let's see. Our new DTs are legit. Vincent Taylor is a perfect nose tackle for us too. Absolutely. Do you think we should sign another safety to play when TJ McDonald is suspended? I think we still have Walt Aikens, and then we have that other guy. I don't remember his name. So we got some depth at the positions. And I don't know what we have with Bakari Rambo. I don't remember him being back with us as well. So we got some depth out there at safety. Do we re-sign Landry now? I don't know. It depends on what he's asking for. If he's asking for $14 million, I say absolutely not with the numbers that he's given us. Absolutely not. I mean, he's a high volume catcher. He gets a lot of passes thrown his way, but 3 touchdowns and 14 million don't. I mean, 4 touchdowns and 14 million don't go together. Right now, to me, his numbers are comparable to Julian Edelman, and I think that's how we pay him for right now. Jarvis Landry should have like 3 more TDs. He just keeps getting to the 1-yard line. Anyway, folks, I will be back. We will talk preseason football.
I know that's a long way away, but that will probably be the next thing that we talk about, unless um,
We sign somebody in the free agency. Then we will talk about that individual that we signed in free agency. Other than that, the next thing is the preseason for us, which should be very, very exciting because we play some tough teams even in preseason. I was hoping that the Baltimore Raven game would be our third game because normally starters get to play 2 quarters in in that third preseason game. So I was hoping that that Baltimore Raven game will be our third game, and we get to see 2 quarters of the starters and get to use that Raven defense as a measuring stick. But unfortunately, it's not. I thought we drafted safety for the future. I thought so as well. There was a couple that was on my draft board, including the kid out of UConn, and we ended up not going safety at all. But I did see somebody. I saw a post of someone saying that Tankersley could possibly play safety. So we shall see. Do you think DP will stay healthy? I hope so. I hope so. He has to, man. He needs a breakout season. He's got some people aiming for him right now. Leonte Carew is there. Rashawn Scott is there. We just drafted this kid Ford. He's got to step up. He's got to step up and be the man because this regime is no nonsense. Look what happened with Dallas Thomas, and I mean they weren't doing their jobs and they got the hell up out of here. Mario Williams, get the hell out of here. Shit, Brandon Albert, get the hell out of here. So this regime is no nonsense. You're either doing the job or we'll see you next time, buddy. Have a nice vacation on somebody else's team. So yeah, um, yeah, man. 11 wins, 11 wins, and from here to the regular season, please, please let this roster just stay healthy. Let it stay healthy, grow, gel, especially the secondary. The guys that we have, Maxwell, Howard, Lippett, McCain, Tankersley, grow together, gel together. Our linebackers up front, grow together. Anyway, folks, I'm out of here, man. I will talk to you guys when we start watching preseason football or if a big free agency signing happens. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.